Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Marvel vs. System card game unboxing. This is the giant-sized issue for the Fantastic Battles. So this is the first family arc. It's Volume 3, Issue number 4. So 4, 5, and 6 will be Fantastic Four related. With the base set here, big new essentially starter, two-player starter deck. Having the new Fantastic Four team and the villainous Frightful team. And then the next two small boxes having one based on Fantastic Four allies and one based on Fantastic Four villains. So you get more for each team. So we are going to go ahead and just jump right into what's all in here. So of course, being like essentially a new starter deck that you could buy, we're going to get a bunch of the counters with the 1s and the 3s. And then we have the new rule book, which I've mentioned in other giant-sized issues. If you only have the base game, pick up at least one of these other giant-sized issues. Maybe one of the newer ones versus just Defenders or A-Force. Ones that came out after they started doing the issue system that have much better instruction manuals. Or you can always just go online and download it. It's an option as well. So we're going to get the brand new teams of Fantastic Four, which is of course the good team, and the Frightful, which is an evil team. And the Frightful will be made up of basically all the different Fantastic Four villains. So they're less of a cohesive team than some of the other ones. Well, you have like all these different updated keyword stuff like that, showing all the different pictures. Of course, there's going to be a bunch of things explaining all the different types of characters or extra effects on them, because some of them have some very interesting things, and we'll look at some of that when we need to. Your first builds and quick how to play stuff, terms, some of that. Definitely a good thing to pick up. We don't want to spend too much time on that. We want to get into looking at our characters. So first up, we're going to have the Human Torch. Good old Johnny Storm. So he's going to have Flame On. Put 3/1/1 plus 1/1 counters on the Human Torch. He has Pyrogenesis. When Human Torch gains any number of 1/1 counters, he gains that much XP. So anyway he can gain them, but he has a way to gain them himself. And then he can jump up and do Nova Burst. He puts minus 1/1 counters equal to the number of plus 1/1 counters Human Torch has, divided as you choose amongst any number of supporting characters. So basically, the more counters he has when you use this ability, the more negative counters you just spread around. So that is really fun. You can take out a lot more guys if you basically burn hotter. I almost wish, though, it was remove that number of counters to put them on there. So it's like you put, like, let's say you put 5 counters on them. You have to basically remove those 5 counters to put them on. So it does a Nova Burst, but it drains them back down to normal. I think that would have been a better mechanic, but I get a lot of extra text to put in there. So our second member of the Fantastic Four is, of course, Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. Mass Invisibility. Each player in the Invisible Woman's row has invisibility this turn, and then Lightbender. When any number of characters on your side hide, Invisible Woman may gains that many XP. And I'm trying to look up here quick is what exactly Invisible does. It's not. I don't know if it's a new keyword or just what I haven't seen much before. So invisibility. At the end of your turn, if this character is ready, you may hide them. Invisible. So that's invisibility. If an character is invisible, character doesn't protect characters and cannot attack protected characters. So this gives them invisibility, so this hides them. Do we have... There's hide. When a character hides, turn it face down but ready. Remove any +1/-1 counters and equipment from it. A hidden character can attack or defend, does not protect anyone behind it, loses its powers, and still keeps its other information like names and team affiliation. So basically, it makes it so it can't be attacked, but it loses all its stats and everything. You still know who it is and all that, so you can still interact with it. It can't do anything else. And then she jumps up to psionic force fields. Character in this combat can't strike this combat. Alright, then we're gonna get Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards. Fantastic Four Inc. Search your deck for an Invisible Woman, Human Torch, or thing supporting character. Reveal it. Put it into your hand. The first family. When each of the following characters appears on your side for the first time, Mr. Fantastic gains an XP. Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and things. He's gotta find the rest of the Fantastic Four to level up. And then he gets Master Inventor. Mr. Fantastic creates an invention. Put each copy of it from your invention pile into your hand. Impervious Sting. If Mr. Fantastic gets stunned during this combat, he doesn't get wounded. So, inventions, I think they were brand new for this set. So they're a separate deck. So, we're going to look over that quick because there are a lot of cards that involve this. There are many invention cards in this issue. They never start in your deck, but in the invention pile that starts outside your game instead. If you have any characters that can create an invention, or inventors, in your deck, you get one single invention pile, even if you have multiple different inventors in your deck. So if you have 2-3 people that can do stuff, you only have one deck regardless. Even if some of them can only create certain things, and some that can't create what's all in your deck, you still only have one deck. Piles are secret. Invention pile can copy each invention card without a team affiliation, and copies for each invention card that share a team affiliation with the inventor in your deck. The quantity of each card is equal to the invention number in parentheses. In this issue, each invention without a team affiliation has 1, and each with it has either 2 or 4. So that means if it only has a 1, you can only include 1 of that specific card in your deck. So that means this is that's what it is. It's a powerful enough invention. They can only make 1. If it has 4, it's more of a common invention. They can have multiples of them. Note that the invention number is the maximum number of invention cards with that name that can be in a single invention pile, even if you have more than one different inventor who can create that thing. For example, if you have Dr. Doom and Mr. Fantastic in your deck who can both invent these cards, and it's invention 1, you can only put 1 on each. You don't put 1 in for every single different character. When a character on your side creates an invention, secretly choose an invention card from your pile that either has no team affiliation or one that shares one with that inventor and put it in your hand. So that's essentially how that works. It gives them an extra, special little deck that they get to draw from. That you build ahead of time. So there's another one of the things where it's kind of like getting team affiliation lists, like plot twists, ones that don't have associated to a team. In other decks, it's really neat to get those, because then you can even though it was in this X-Men set, I can add it to my Spider-Man cards, or my Avenger team, or my Masters of Evil, or my Hammer, or whoever. Inventions are kind of neat the same way as, if I get more inventions, as long as they're not team-specific, I can add them, if I have a different inventor from a different set. I know one of the later sets, I think Forge from the X-Men also has an inventor. So, now if you have cards in this set that don't have a team affiliation, he can use them in them set, and vice versa if there's any there. So, having things like that's kind of neat, because you can add, it gives you another reason to maybe buy extra cards for a different set, even if you're maybe not I'm not really a huge Fantastic Four fan, but you can get all these inventions that you could use in other decks, potentially. Alright, and our last main character is, of course, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing, Ben Grimm, Defender of Yancey Street. Till the start of your next turn, characters on your side can't be attacked while they're being protected by Thing. And then his aforementioned name, When the thing is attacked, he gains XP for each character he is protecting. I like to use a protector rather than just a straight up bruiser. And then it's clobbering time, and then here's his bruising ability. He gains plus 10 attack and can't be stunned this combat. Alright, so I'm going to jump into supporting characters. And like every other set, unless mentioned, there's going to be 4 copies of each. So here we have Alicia Masters, Neo-Realistic Sculptor. Other Fantastic Four characters on your side. On your side's base defense is equal to their base attack, or vice versa, whichever is higher. There's some very interesting characters here. So here we have Willie Lumpkin, who's their mailman at the Baxter Building, who has a very interesting ability. At the start of your build phase, if Willie is in your front row, you may move him to your back row and put a package counter on him. At the start of your build phase, if Willie is in your back row with a package counter, you may move him to the Baxter Building in your resource row. Then remove him from the game. If you do, draw 4 cards. So you gotta start in the front row, moves 1 space, gets a package, moves another space to deliver the package, and you get 4 cards. So it's kind of fun. We got Herbie. I don't remember what Herbie stands for. Says Safeguard. Characters in Herbie's front row without Safeguard can't be attacked. Valeria Richards. Link to the negative zone. Valerie can only appear on your side if there is a negative zone location on your side. And Super Genius. At the start of your turn, draw 2 cards. Agatha Harkness. So you watch the MCU stuff, you know her from Scarlet Witch. So Immortal. When Agatha gets KO'd, you may shuffle her into her owner's deck. Ancient Sorceress. When Agatha appears, draw a card for each Agatha Harkness who has been KO'd on your side this game. You get some bunch of extra drawing cards. Alright, so now this is a weird ability. Which is probably, these new abilities are going to make this video take a little bit longer, but Wyatt Wingfoot is self-aware. He knows he's in a card game, so what does this mean? Wyatt knows he's in a card game, and he wants to play too. Come on, focus. Camera, focus. So it appears, and until he leaves play, he gets his own hand and resource row. Note, his hand counts as being part of your hand, his resource row counts as being part of your resource. How it works. At the end of your draw step, Wyatt draws 2 cards into his part of your hand. Keep these cards separate from the main part of your hand. This is the only way to add cards to his part of the hand. If another effect would add cards to your hand, they always go to the main part, never to Wyatt's. Other effects that affect your hand work as normal, or if you are forced to discard a random card, you must randomize all the cards in your hand, including Wyatt's part. At the end of your resource step, Wyatt may play a resource from his hand as part of your resource row. Keep these separate from the main part. The only way to add resources. This is the only way to add resources to his row. Other effects would add resources that would go to your main part. End your recruit step. If you spent normal points to play cards from the main part of your hand, any left over always go away. You gain 1 point for each resource in Wyatt's. Only spend these to recruit cards from Wyatt's part of your hand. Characters and equipment you play from Wyatt's part work as normal once on your side. Once you're in play, it doesn't matter where they came from. Plot twists can be played. You spend locations in Wyatt as part of your resource row, or discard it from a hand to generate symbols as normally, and when he leaves play, remove the cards from his part of your hand and resource row from the game. Characters and equipment from his part of your hand stay in play. If Wyatt ever gets moved to another player's side, remove all cards from his part of your hand and resource row from the game. And now he draws extra rows for that player. So, yeah, it's a very weird card. Like, It's kind of odd that it's a three cost, 1 health thing. Like if this was a like main character and like you're playing like this weird side game, I could kind of get it. Or if he was like a 7, 8, 9 cost character with like 10 health, like 6, 7 health, where he'd be able to take a bunch of hits, I get it. Just so weird that you have like essentially this extra big mode for a guy that only takes 1 damage, he's out. Now you have to lose all these cards. So you automatically draw 2 cards, and then if you put any resources down, so even if you get like 2 resources down, then someone kills them, you don't just go to the discard pile, you remove those cards from the game. So you could be losing, 5, 6 cards from the game, based on him. So unless you find a good reason a good strategy to play him, it seems like a giant risk. Like, yeah, I guess having the extra cards to be able to play, because you maybe get more stuff out quicker, is kind of neat. But it's also, I think, a big gamble. Here we have Healing Torch supporting card. Flame On. Put 3/1/+1/+1 counters on Healing Torch. We got Elijah, the Laser Fist. Scroll Spy. At the start of your build phase, while Elijah is in your hand, you may transform an Alicia Master supporting character on your side into Elijah. It's because she secretly became Alicia for a while, started dating Johnny Storm. Well before her and Ben Grimm got married. It was a whole big thing. And she's kind of a semi-ally to the Fantastic Four. I think she works with them, but then if ever comes down to her or the Skrull, she usually takes the Skrull side. There was stuff with her and Human Torch during the Secret Invasion, which was kind of interesting. Here we have Caledonia, the Sword of Might. Caledonia has Combat Mastery and Violent this turn. Combat Mastery, I believe, gives you an extra +2. No, that's Martial Artist. Combat Mastery. List characters in combat, enemy players can't play plot twists. And Violent being the other one is this character strikes supporting characters double its attack. Yeah, she can't be played plot twists and she can double her attack. I don't know who she is, so I can't speak to her. Invisible Woman. Where did she go? Invisible Woman. Right, Invisible Woman, she has Invisible and Invisibility this turn. And we have Thing. It's clobbering time. Until he gets his big ability, gains +10 attack. And Rock Lake Sting. Also can gain +10 defense. That's actually really fun. And we get a support for Mr. Fantastic, who has Stroke of Genius. At the start of your turn, draw a card, or he creates an invention. And that just puts it in your hands. It doesn't get it played for free, so you still gotta pay for it. There's Plasticity. Mr. Fantastic has +5/+5, Shrink, and Tough. Tough lets you avoid damage, I believe. When a character gets stunned, you may recover them, and Shrink, first time you attack, you can cancel the combat. Up next, we have Franklin Richards, who actually has a new team ability. So he has dual Fantastic Four and Omega Mutant, which later they add an entire expansion of just Omega Mutants. But so an Omega level mutant, you can't include Omega level mutants with other names in your deck. So you can only have one Omega level mutant in your deck. It's supposed to be so powerful. They don't want you having multiple. So manipulate reality. Put each other character in a pocket universe until Franklin leaves play. So if we jump back into the instruction book, we have a big giant thing about pocket universes. One of the most powerful beings is able to create a pocket universe. Move each character other than Franklin to the side of the game. They're now a separate part of the game. A pocket universe only has a front row, back row, no resource. When characters move to the pocket universe, they stay there in their same rows. They're in the original. They keep all their counters and everything else. Alright. It's still the same overall game, so cards don't appear or leave play when they move from the original. They just are there now. Cards in the Pocket Universe cannot attack or otherwise affect the original and vice versa. Uniqueness doesn't apply across the two. So basically you create a second game on the side where they're doing their own thing. Each player who has created characters in a Pocket Universe will take a separate turn in that Pocket Universe after their normal turn. After your turn is over, then you take a Pocket Universe turn. During this turn, ignore all the original Universe cards. So there's that. So there's start of the turn. There's no draw phase, recovery, formation. There's no build phase because there are no recruit points and resource rows, so you can only work with what's already there. Main phase works like normal. You can play plot twists from your hand to affect it. You can discard a location from your hand to generate power symbols, since there's no resource row. When a character is KO'd in the Pocket Universe, they go to the normal KO pile. Similar, if a character leaves play, the effect works the same if they left the normal. If there's more than one Pocket Universe in the game, each player will then take their normal turn in the Pocket Universe for each Pocket Universe they have characters in. So that's crazy, you could potentially have more than one. When Freaking leaves play, the characters from each Pocket Universe he created pop back into the original universe part of the game. In the same rows with the same orientation they were in their Pocket Universe. This leads to more than one character with the same name on your side, KO all except one. So this is the idea of he accidentally created the Heroes Reborn universe when Onslaught took all the Avengers and Fantastic Four and some other characters away. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. You just put each other characters in, you basically create a second side game. So now you play a regular turn, then you play a second one where it's just the battling part. And then you can do that. So it's kind of like Wyatt Wingfoot. It's a neat effect, but you kind of have to sort of build a deck based around that's what you're going to be doing. So again, like this is maybe like a main character, and like if you leveled up, the effect went away or did something, or you had to keep paying to keep it going or something like that. Would be kind of interesting. But yeah, you can do this. Put two over. You put it all over there, and then again, if he gets KO'd, he has 2 health. You know, now you have to return everything. So it's like it's interesting concept, but it's like you're creating a lot of extra work, which could be potentially for very little effort. Again, I'm sure you can build a great deck around it, but just randomly throwing it into a deck seems like a lot of hassle. Especially with this having like the inventions and other stuff like that. And then our final supporting characters, we have Uatu, the Watcher, so you can play a space card, look at each enemy card everywhere, and then the Doer, playing a humanity card, heal a wound from each good character on our side, then remove each -1/-1 counter, all burn, freeze, immobile, and effects from them, recover and ready any number of them. So when he interferes, he does interfere, and he basically heals everybody. Alright, now we're going to look at some inventions. So the inventions are the really neat new things. So this is a gadget. These are plot twists. So we're going to get 2 copies of gadgets. At least in this deck. There might be some in the I was trying to see if there were some different ones in the Doctor Doom side, but I think these might be. So these don't have an affiliation. Card starts the game in your invention pile, and they give you 2 copies, even though you can only have 1 in your deck, because you could have 1 in the Fantastic Four deck, and you could have 1 in the Doctor Doom deck on the other side if you're playing against each other. So they wanted to make it so if you're playing, you bought this deck, each player have access to these cards. Make things right. Combat. If it's your turn, add an attacker to the combat. Combat. If it's an enemy's turn, remove an attacker from the combat. So that'd be kind of fun. You can just play that as essentially a free plot twist. You can have anything special on it. We do get a machine. It's going to have, it becomes an equipment. Make things right. When this machine appears, choose one for it to gain. You may pay one less to recruit supporting characters, or supporting characters aside have +2/+2. We get a supporting ally, which is an automaton, and there's 2 of each of these. Again, you get 1 for each deck. Invention. This card starts a game in your invention pile. Make things right. When this character appears, choose to gain 1. Lethal or shrinks. You can either dodge combat or it can KO someone. You get another equipment. Ooh, ran out of room on there. We're going to get just a weapon. Make things right. When this equipment appears, choose it to gain 1 effect for it to gain. Gains +5 attack in ranged, or gains plus defense in ranged. And then we are going to get 4 copies of the Fantastic Four team specific Fantasticar. Flying bathtub. Equipped character has flying. We do get another plot twist, which we are going to get 2, because this is also an invention. Combat. Characters on your side can't be struck this combat. So we're going to get 2 of these, or unstable molecules. I didn't say what it's called. We're going to get 2 of them because you can have 2 of them, and they're only for Fantastic Four. Then we do have some special locations. So we have 2 copies of Negative Zone. This is also an invention. So I'm going to zoom. I can't really zoom up too much more on that, so I have to hold this one up. We can read this because it's really tiny print. Gateway to Annihilation Arena. During your main phase, but not during combat, your main character may pay 1 of the following during this. Turn this location face down, and either if you play space, turn another location face up or face down. Humanity, heal or wound a character. Energy, switch a character's attack and defense this turn. Knowledge, turn a character's -1 counters into +1 counters, or vice versa. Strength, recover or gaze a character. And fighting, ready or exhaust a character. So you get some interesting stuff there. And then I like to play Valeria Richards. You have to have this card out, which means you have to have one of the inventor characters out to play that. We are also going to get 4 copies of the special Fantastic Four location. The Baxter building, of course. And then, being this is essentially a starter set, we're going to get 4 copies in this deck, and then 4 copies in the villain side. So 8 total of each of the basic locations. So we get Academy with Valeria Richards. Fortress with Dr. Doom's Doom stacked. The Laboratory, which is going to have Reed Richards' Lab. And then the Training Ground with the Thing. So again, we'll get 4 of each of them in each deck, so 8 total. Alright, let's head over to the villain side. Alright, we're going to get to the Frightful, which, well, we started with a level 2, so let's start with level 1. We have Dr. Doom, of course. You can't have a Fantastic Four villain set without Dr. Doom. So he has the Inventor, and he starts with the Inventor deck, but he has to spend to create it. He has Science and Sorcery. At the end of your turn, if you played an equipment and a plot twist this turn, Dr. Doom gains XP. And then when he levels up, choose an enemy supporting character. Its owner shuffles a face-up into their deck. Doom can't use this power if there's a face-up character in an enemy deck. So it's kind of interesting. Then we have our second one. We have Mole Man. Mole Man tunnels under enemy resources. Subterranean network. When Mole Man tunnels, he gains an XP. So, not sure if tunneling has a different effect. I'm just double checking the rule book. don't see it listed in here. So it might... Oh, here we go. Mole Man, main character. Can tunnel beneath if there are enemy locations, he must tunnel under those first. If there are none, he can tunnel under a face-down resource. When he tunnels, remove him from the game and place him beneath the card he is tunneling under. At the start of your next turn, put him back on your side. If the card is on your location is turned face down, if it was already face down, KO it. If the card it was under was a location, turn it face down. If it was already face down, KO it. If it is beneath the location, it gets turned face down, including being used for superpower or leaves play, put him back into your back row. If he's beneath a face down resource and it leaves play, put him into your back row. I don't know why they worded this in such an odd way. Tunnel between enemy resources. If there are any, he must tunnel under those first. When there are none, he can tunnel under a face-down resource. So he has to go under locations first. If there are none, then he can just go under a regular resource. Remove from the game so he can't be attacked. When he does that, then he pops back up at the beginning of your turn. If it was face-down, if it was a location, you turn it face-down. It's basically you can sabotage your locations. If it already was a face-down card, so you didn't know what it was, you can KO it. So he wants to get rid of your locations first. Then if there are none, he can start KOing your other cards. So I'm going to move this a little bit. So maybe, there we go. A little bit better for the lighting. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. It's a weird way. I mean, you have to pay 3 yellow unless there's other cards that let him tunnel. Because it's not a common effect. It says Moletoids forward. Put a Moletoid token under your side. Mole Man tunnels under an enemy resource. Do we have... Trying to find one of the Moletoid tokens quick. There we are. So here's a Moletoid token. You're going to get 4 copies of them. So they have Swarm. You have any number of Mole cards on your side. This power can't be turned off. They have Dark Vision. When attacking, Moletoid has +1 for each face-down resource on that side. Alright, our next main character is Clerk the Super Skrull. Skrull Soldier. At the start of your turn, you may put a -1/- counter on an enemy character. First, Faker. At the end of your step, Super Skrull gains 1 XP for each face-up character. Human Torch, Invisible, and Mr. Fantastic and Thing. And you can put them on your side or their side. Or the opponent's side. This is kind of a neat idea. Then he levels up. He gains Cosmic Energy Power Receptors. When Super Skrull levels up, he gains the keyword and superpowers he doesn't already have from the following face-up characters. Human Torch, Invisible, and Mr. Fantastic, and the Thing. When one of the 4 appears, Super Skrull gains keywords and superpowers he doesn't already have from them. So that's kind of cool. So you can build around that, and then if they make more versions of those characters, like maybe they make an Avenger version, or something like that, or like future Foundation versions, different teams in the future, he just becomes more powerful, potentially. And then finally we have the Wizard. Wizard Armor. The Wizard is in combat. You may play any plot twist as a copy of Open Fire, Find Cover, Savage Surprise, Best Offense is a Good Defense plot twist. Mechanical Mastermind. When you play a combat plot twist, the Wizard gains an XP. So he can choose to use any of your plot twists as specific ones. I think these are all from the base game. So the book does show all 4 of them, although they're kind of hard to see. See if I can get a little bit better focused on them. So open fire gives, yeah, the only downside is it's really hard to even read. Choose an attacker gets +2 attack. Cover fire, they get +3 defense. Super or savage strength, they get +4 attack. Or best offense, they do good defense, they get +5 defense. So yeah, they have the different plot twists, but I think those are all ones from the base game. So if you own that, you could have those 4 just sitting aside if you have extra copies ready to go. And he also has Escape Artist, pay yellow or red, cancel the combat. The wizard may use his power any number of times each turn. Alright, our support characters, we're going to get 4 copies of Mole Man. Put a multi token in the player's side. Lesser radar sense. Enemy players must play with their hands revealed until Mole Man leaves play. The Mad Thinker. Constructing Android. Search your deck for an awesome Android supporting character and reveal it. Put it into your hand. Computer Mind. Make a secret prediction about enemy attack next turn. If that prediction is correct, reveal it. Cancel the combat and immediately make another prediction about an attack on an enemy turn. So we're going to skip that. We're going to look at, first we're going to look at the awesome android that he can summon. It has the base attack defense equivalent to the highest printed attack or defense of the face-up characters. And the attack and defense can be different. And then we'll look at what that predictability did. So, Mad Thinker. He can accurately predict what enemies are going to do. When you make a prediction, secretly write down the name of 2 characters, an attacker and a defender. The names don't have to be characters in play at the time Mad Thinker uses the ability. When a character, the attacker's name attacks the character on his side with the defender's name, even in a team attack, cancel the combat. Then make another prediction about the same turn, but this time you'll have to predict a lot more data. You'll have a lot more data. You can make the maximum 2 predictions from each use of the superpowers. It's kind of sort of like with the Franklin Richards and Wyatt Wingfoot. It's a extra step thing, extra little thing. It's not as big of a thing as them. It's not creating like a side game, but it is adding an interesting outside of game element. Just kind of interesting. Alright. Here we have Puppet Master. I love that it's like the original Fantastic Four. Like older artwork. Radioactive Clay Effigy. Reveal a supporting character from your hand, then move an enemy supporting character with that name into your side. When Puppet Master leaves play, move it back. We have Diablo. The Alchemist. Master Alchemist. Diablo pays any 2. Choose a supporting character on your side. They gain the following based on what you paid. Air gets you flying. Earth gets you 5 attack. Fire gets you range. And water gets you 5 defense. It's kind of a fun little thing. Blastar. King of Bolar. Blastar is +5/+5 while a negative zone location is on your side. It's kind of neat. There's some good reasons in this set to mix and match Fantastic Four characters and Frightful characters because they make use of abilities together. We have a Doombot who is also an invention. So you can play him as a regular support or as an invention. I guess he starts as an invention, but they have him here. Swarm. An exact replica. If Dr. Doom would be wounded on your side, randomly choose him or a Doombot on your side. If you choose a Doombot, you may say, "Fool, you think you can defeat Dr. Doom so easily?" If you do, switch their positions and wound the Doombot instead. I love that. It's a little good way to implement that for Dr. Doom. Thundra, who has Leap, who has Flying on your turn, and bulletproof characters with range can't strike Thundera even in melee combat. We have Christoph Vinard. Becoming Doom. When a Doombot is on your side, Kristoff gains, aka Dr. Doom, and Swarm. Um, Heir Apparent. Put 5+1 counters on a Doombot on your side, or ready a Doombot on your side, or put a Doombot from your KO pile into your hand. Kristoff may use this power any number of times on your turn. So that's kind of an interesting, different character. The Wizard. Escape Artist. Cancel combat. Wizard may use this power any number of times. Impossible Man. We're going to get some crazy stuff with him. Omnifarious. Impossible Man can be played as a villainous equipment with a cost of 1, or a villainous plot twist. Not villainous, Frightful. Instead of a supporting character. If he's an equipment, the character has +2 attack and defense. If it's a plot twist, it's a combat. Put a +1 counter on the character on your side. So that's actually really fun. Cause, like, it gives him some different options. It can only be for the one team, though. Here we got some Owen Mercer. The Molecule Man. Molecular Manipulation. Pay a blue or discard an unstable molecule plot twist. Choose one. Matter to Energy. KO another supporting character on your side. Put a +1 counter equal to its cost on a character, or Energy to Matter. Move any number of 1/1 counters from a character inside. You may put a character with the cost equal to the number from your KO pile onto your side. So that's actually a really fun card. Dr. Doom supporting card, who also has Inventor. So far, it's in this set, it's only Doom and Fantastic Four that have the Inventor mechanics, or other characters will get them. But you can play their main or their supporting, so you can throw a supporting in there and have that available in any other deck. All you need is Doom. When you're playing equipment, put 3+1 counters on Doom. Play a plot twist, ready Doom. Support version for Super Skrull. Super Skrull Engineering. At the start of your main phase, choose one. Put 3/1/1 counters on Super Skrull, and Super Skrull gets +10 attack and can't be stunned. Super Skrull can attack protected characters this turn, and Super Skrull has Shrink and Tough, so basically he gains counters are your Human Torch, the 10 attack is the Thing, the attack protected characters is representing the invisibility, like getting around people's defenses, and Shrinking Tough would be Mr. Fantastic. So push the limits, choose another effect from Super Skrull Engineering so we can, use 2 at the same time. And then our last supporting character is Mephisto, which is a very interesting ability. Bond with Zaratoth. KO another supporting character on your side and put a Ghost Rider supporting character from your hand onto your side. Deal with the Devil. Offer a deal to an enemy player. So, I love that it's a Frightful deck, all these Fantastic Four villains. They dealt with Mephisto a few times. But then they have this ability that summons a Ghost Rider. Like, there's no Ghost Riders in this deck. So that's actually kind of a neat idea that they even though they put them themed with this set, he still mechanically works with other things that are out there. So here we have Mephisto's. At your own risk, you may offer a deal with the devil. Here's how it works. The deal must involve at least 2 elements. For example, the offer can't be I draw 10 cards. There can only be one offer for the deal. This is a take it or leave it situation. Mephisto hates negotiations. The deal can only involve game effects. For example, you can't offer money. The deal must be resolved immediately. Nothing that affects later turns or games. And all parts of the deal are resolved simultaneously. A few examples. I draw 5 cards. You draw 10 cards. Wound your main character and put a supporting character from your hand onto your side. You may choose a character on your side and a character on my side. We stun them both. I discard my hand, and you lose the game. I'm not gonna lie, anyone would take that last one. But there's that. So that's actually a really interesting card. Again, it kind of works with these other cards. So, like, you're doing something that's above the general rules of the game, but that's still kind of fun. Like, how big of a deal can you make, or what are you willing to sacrifice or pay to get what might help somebody else? The only thing is, since there's no negotiating, you can't be like, like that first example is, I'll draw 5 cards, you get 10 cards. It's like, oh, that's a really good deal for them. Yeah, if you think you only need 5 cards to get what you want, it might be worth it to you, but you can't negotiate with them. You can't be like, I get 5 cards, you get 6 cards. And they'll be like, well, I'll take 10 cards. Nope. It's what it is. Alright, here we got some plot twists. For the Frightful team, we have Backup Plan. If an enemy player has played a plot twist this combat, draw 2 cards. Observe and adapt. You may play this as a copy of any plot twist in enemy KO pile. This loses the enemy plot twist team affiliation. And then we don't have any of the inventions in this stack because we've seen them in the other one. We do have special locations. We have Lavaria, Dr. Doom's home country, and then of course the 4 basic locations, which we'll get 4 of each of these for a total of 8 in the deck. So that was Frightful side, and that is the conclusion of the Fantastic Four battles. Some very interesting stuff. Brand new mechanic with the inventions, so those might be worth picking up for this. And yeah, it's one thing, like I said during that earlier, is right now it's just Mr. Fantastic and Dr. Doom that can do that. As they add more characters from other sets that can do the inventions, it might be worth either having this or going back and picking this set up if you want to give them more options, because there's only 1 invention or 2 inventions that are team specific, being the Doombots and the Fantasticar. Plus there's some other interesting game effects, different characters that do different things, a lot of synergy in here, which makes sense. And I'm sure we'll see some very interesting stuff in the next 2 expansions, which are the Heralds. So we're going to get Heralds of Galactus, and the Frightful, which are just more bad guys. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Bye.